Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we've got something a little unusual in front of us. Not the typical reports or papers.
No, definitely not. We've actually been handed a full script, like a lesson plan for teaching English.
Exactly. And it's all focused on one specific thing, how to talk about hobbies and free time.
Which is, well, it's a great chance for us, really, because this isn't just about words, is it? It's like a blueprint for how we chat casually.
Right. The people who made this, they had to decide, what's the most efficient, the most natural way to swap this kind of personal info.
Yeah, they're basically mapping out a specific social interaction.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. Our mission, it isn't actually to learn the English lesson ourselves.
No.
We want to dissect let's call it the communication architecture that's laid out in these sources. What are the patterns? What's the conversational flow they're teaching as the kind of standard way to talk about leisure?
What was really fascinating is realizing how structured even casual chats are. This training document just lays it all bare. So we'll pull out the key phrases, the essential bits that define this kind of chat, show you the framework they consider normal for fitting in socially.
I like thinking of it as finding the social API.
Yeah,
it's the protocol for exchanging data about your life efficiently. Okay, so let's dive in. Section 1, establishing the conversational core.
Right.
If you want to start this kind of chat, what's the official entry point according to this lesson?
Well, the script makes it super clear. There's one main question they push, have people repeat it over and over.
Which is?
What do you like to do in your free time? That's presented as the universal opener. Low friction, gets things going.
Okay, simple enough. And when someone asks that, how does the lesson say you should answer? Does it give options or is it pretty strict?
Oh, it's specific.
Yeah.
Very specific. They don't really leave room for, just rambling. There's a template.
A template, okay.
Yeah, they give you two main ways to start your answer. You have to begin with either I like,
okay,
or the other option is I enjoy.
I like or I enjoy.
Got it. Forces you right into the topic.
Precisely.
Now, this is where it gets interesting for our analysis, I think. Beyond just the words, if you start with I like or I enjoy, what has to come next, grammatically? And why do you think they insist on that?
Right. So the examples they give and the structure they teach, it always shows the activity in the ing form, the gerund.
The gerund. So I like reading or I enjoy painting.
Exactly that, not I like to read.
Okay, why? Why that specific rule? What's the difference in meaning or maybe the social signal?
Well, if you think about the bigger picture, using the gerund, the reading, the painting, it kind of cements the activity. It makes it sound like part of your identity, something ongoing.
Yeah.
It's not just a one-off thing you did or a goal you have. Saying, I like reading signals, well, this is part of who I am regularly.
I see. So it's not just about the action, it's about the state of being someone who does that action. You got it. It's an identity marker. More than just describing an event. And that signal, that commitment signal, seems key for this kind of quick social exchange about who you are.
That's a great insight. The forced gerund defines it as, an integral, repeatable part of your life. Let's use their example flow. One person asks the question,
what do you like to do in your free time?
And the other uses the rule. I like reading books and playing football. Boom. 2 identity markers delivered efficiently.
Just like that.
Okay, so we've got the opening question and the specific answer structure, but conversations need to, go somewhere after that, right?
Right.
So how does the lesson plan suggest branching out? This brings us to section 2, specialized follow-up and quantifying time.
Yeah, and again, the source material is pretty directive here. Once you've listed your main activities, like reading or football, the first common branch they introduce is often about skill, specifically music.
Music. Interesting. So what's the question?
The standard follow-up they provide is, do you play any instruments?
Okay, that makes sense. It filters for a specific kind of hobby, often one that takes, quite a bit of investment.
Exactly. A high investment, high skill category. And it sets up a really efficient little loop, because the expected answer is basically yes or no.
Binary.
Right. And the sources give the exact required answers for that filter. You either say, yes, I play the piano, or yes, I play the guitar. Something specific and recognizable.
Right.
Or the direct negative, no, I don't play any instruments. Clean and simple.
Yeah, it stops that line of inquiry immediately if it's not relevant. No wasted time.
Precisely. It keeps the exchange moving efficiently.
Okay, so after maybe checking about instruments, where does it go? This next part about quantifying time, I found this really revealing. Moving from what you do to how much.
Yes. This is crucial. Once an activity is on the table, The social script, according to this lesson, requires you to give a sense of your commitment level. How integrated is this hobby into your life?
And how does the curriculum teach you to measure that?
They make it clear this frequency data is kind of expected. It gives a fuller picture. They provide two very specific examples in the dialogue. Two models for commitment, you could say.
Okay, what are they?
Well, the first one mentioned involves playing football.
Right.
And the character says they play twice a week.
Twice a week. Okay, that's pretty regular.
Yeah, quite committed. And the second example is about painting. The character says they like to paint every weekend.
Every weekend. So one is midweek frequency, the other is dedicated leisure time.
Exactly. And think about the cultural signals embedded there. Twice a week suggests serious dedication, right? It has to fit around work or school, needs planning. It's almost like a discipline.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just casual.
Whereas every weekend, well, that signals a different kind of commitment. It respects that typical work-life boundary you see in many places. It says, I'm devoted to this, yeah, but it happens in my designated free time. It frames it as planned leisure, contained but regular.
So it's not just what you do, but how it fits into the structure of your week. That gives so much context instantly.
That's the key. This short exchange, asking the question, getting the I like reading response, maybe asking about instruments, and then getting the frequency twice a week or every weekend, it establishes the degree of integration.
You're defining your commitment level straight away. High frequency or weekend focus. Crucial context for your, social identity snapshot.
And presented so efficiently. That's the architecture they're teaching.
Which means, for you listening, understanding this lets you subtly shape the impression you give. Want to sound really dedicated, use the twice a week kind of phrasing. Want to sound more balanced work-life-wise.
Go for the every weekend model. It becomes almost a strategic choice in how you present yourself.
Exactly. Which leads us neatly into section 3, the vocabulary spectrum of free time.
Right.
Because you need actual activities to plug into those sentence structures, don't you?
Yep. And the curriculum provides a surprisingly finite list of acceptable activities.
Okay, we already heard the ones from the main dialogue. Reading, playing football, painting, listening to music, playing piano. What else is on the approved list?
They expand it slightly, probably to give learners a few more common options. The extra ones are cooking, gardening, dancing, traveling, and watching movies.
So reading, football, painting, music, piano, plus cooking, gardening, dancing, traveling, movies. That's 10 activities total.
10 specific approved activities, yeah.
Okay, I have to push back slightly here just thinking about it. Isn't that incredibly limiting? 10 hobbies. What if you're into, competitive LARPing or restoring antique clocks?
That's a really fair point, and it gets right to the core of why this structure is designed this way. The curriculum designers, they're making a very deliberate trade-off here.
A trade-off between what? Richness and
efficiency? Or maybe common ground? They are optimizing for instant understanding. If you say you like one of those 10 things, reading, cooking, traveling, the chance that the person you're talking to immediately gets what you mean is, well, it's extremely high.
Ah, I see. So mentioning you enjoy gardening requires zero explanation.
Exactly.
But saying you enjoy mycological foraging might require a whole follow-up conversation.
Right. Which slows down that initial efficient exchange of basic identity information. This restricted list is all about low-friction communication, keeping the momentum going.
No need for defining terms or explaining niche interests right at the start. It's about finding that common ground quickly.
That's the idea. Rapid connection.
Yeah.
And then the source material reinforces this by giving example sentences that pull it all together, the vocabulary, the structure, the frequency.
Right, like the examples you mentioned. They show the learner exactly how to build the complete package.
Yeah, the models they give are things like, I like cooking new recipes.
Okay.
Or I enjoy gardening on weekends.
There's the frequency.
And I take dancing lessons every Monday.
Another frequency timing marker. Those sentences are like little pre-packaged conversational units.
Totally. They've got the identity marker, I like, enjoy, the activity using the required ending form or related structure like take lessons, and often that frequency piece. Weekends every Monday. That whole framework is presented as the best way to handle this kind of chat.
It's definitely clear. And for you, the listener, especially if you're in a situation where you need to make connections quickly, this list gives you a set of ready-made, easily understood options for defining your interest.
It's a complete little toolbox just for talking about leisure time, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got the way in, the main answer format, the branch about skills like instruments, and the words to fill the gaps.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Quick review of the key takeaways from this deep dive. We've been analyzing the architecture, the sort of hidden rules of casual chat about free time using this English lesson script as our guide.
Yeah, we were looking for the algorithm, basically, and we found that the core exchange hinges on that polite opener. What do you like to do in your free time?
Right. And the required response structure, starting with I like or I enjoy, and crucially, using that ing verb form.
The gerund, yeah, which
more.
signals ongoing identity, not just a one-off action.
Then we saw the efficient branching, checking for instrument,
A key skill category.
and then adding that vital layer of commitment, quantifying the frequency using models like twice a week or every weekend.
Which gives so much social context about how integrated the hobby is in your life.
And finally, we looked at that list of 10 approved hobbies: reading, cooking, traveling, and the others.
Acknowledging that, yes, it's limited, but it's a deliberate choice for maximizing common ground and communicative efficiency. Sacrificing depth for speed, maybe?
So what does this all mean for you? Well, now you kind of have the skeleton key to this very common type of conversation. You know the structure, you know the signals, like how saying twice a week feels different from every weekend.
You can be more aware of the subtext.
Exactly. So we're going to borrow a final thought from the original source material, actually. It ended with a question for the learners, and it's a good one for reflecting on the structures we've just pulled apart.
Right. So based on those activities we talked about from the sources, reading, cooking, traveling, playing football, gardening, all those, think about your own life. What is your favorite hobby?
First, just identify it. Then try framing it using that specific structure we analyzed. I like or I enjoy, followed by the ing form of your hobby.
And then the final step. How would you quantify it? Does it fit the twice a week model, the every weekend model, or maybe something else? How would you express that frequency efficiently?
Give it a try. See how framing your own interests using that structure feels. It's about defining your identity with that calculated efficiency. That's it for this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.